Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Mono Blue Mill. I've never tried this deck before, but it seems pretty sweet. I played against it a couple times. It is a no reserve list deck that you can build for $700. That's how much this build costs, and it's all around getting these crabs out and fetching a lot of lands. We've got some very powerful spells that, if resolved, will do a lot of deck points to our opponent. Fractured Sanity, mill 14 cards. You can also cycle it if you want to just get 4 cards and get another card in your hand. Not terrible. And then Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I love this card, especially if our opponent's on like a low curve deck. Exile cards from the top of their deck until they reveal a total mana value of 20 or greater. I was actually playing like an all one drop deck, and my opponent, Tasha Hideous Laughtered me for 24 cards. Crazy. So this deck also plays main deck Surgicals, which are pretty good against Oops. They're not like a lock. It plays Days, and instead of playing Wasteland, we're playing Field of Ruin, which can force our opponents to shuffle, which turns on our Archive Traps, which are also probably just going to be free against typical fetch land decks. But the first round, we're likely playing up against a Karnforge deck, and they're not necessarily going to be searching their library unless they get like a Urza Saga going or something like that. Quickly, the sideboard is 2 Back to Basics, which are good against, big mana decks. We've got 3 Ensnaring Bridge because we're not attacking for damage, and this card is just kind of like a silly card, really. I'm pretty excited to play it. I've never played it before. And then 4 Force Negation for combo matchups, 4 Consign to Memory for big mana, 2 Disruptor Flute. This can be One Ring. This can really be like AB combo, like Show and Tell and stuff like that. Let's get into it. This first hand has Archive Trap, but we don't think it's going to be good against what they're doing. I don't like to keep hands without, I've never played this deck before, but I feel like Crab is the reason to be playing these decks. Field of Ruin is like a Wasteland, and it does trigger Archive Trap. My feeling is this is going to be a race. This doesn't do it. This is we do play a ton of land. So we shouldn't the only non-blue sources are these Field of Ruins. This is fine. This is a Crab. So I don't expect Surgical Extraction to do anything here. What I think we want to do is keep 1 Laughter, and then we can Crab, and then next turn we can fetch, and we'll have 2 lands. I do need to get to 3 lands, and it would be embarrassing to hold Natasha's Hideous Laughter and not get to 3 lands. Actually, I don't expect my opponent to search, so maybe I just don't do that. Let's see. I mean, they could have the... a lot of these assumptions are that they're actually on Karnforge, but they've been playing that for the last 4 or 5 trophies that they've gotten. I think I'll cut an Archive Trap in this circumstance. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is actually going to be mediocre against them because a lot of their cards have high curves. All right, Hedron Crab, get in. It's funny, they printed a second Crab that's functionally the same, except it has 3 toughness instead of 2 toughness. And they were printed maybe 10 years apart. So it's just it's like the exact same card, except it's just power crept. Fire Design is often subtle, just giving an extra point of toughness. Okay, yeah, Karnforge. So they could K-command this out of play, so we don't want to wait forever. Hedron Crab. I just want to... Yeah, I'm going to definitely mill them. I guess I could save targets, since I'm already doing this a lot. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I don't have a Surveil land in the deck, by the way. But it would suck for me to fetch and then for them to be able to dodge and save targets. And we'll always target our opponent with this. I'm not playing. There are some cards that you can play. Okay, so we're getting rid of a lot of their Urza lands. We've gotten rid of 2 Urza Saga so far. Attack just to show them who's boss, and we'll pass. Now, there is a ninjutsu card called Kitsune Technique, which means fox in Japanese. Kitsune's Technique. And I'm not playing that here. It's a sneak ability, and so, 4 mana. So even if they One Ring, it's actually not that big of a deal. Fleshraker, that's a big deal, potentially. Manifold Key. Okay, that pings us, and it creates mana, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to get some Hideous Laughter on. I love the thematically, the art. This is terrifying, dude. This giant dragon that's, laughing at you and causing insanity. That's, so metal. And my understanding is it comes from D&D or something like that, which makes sense because D&D is pretty metal. Fractured Sanity is maybe better, but basically they're going to have to win next turn because we're about to wreck them. Wreck-It Ralph. I want to wreck it. What is better? I think Fractured Sanity hitting 14 is definitely better, so I just want to cast that first. Each opponent, so it doesn't even target. So maybe actually, no, these are all each opponent. So we don't even have to worry about One Ring. That's freaking sweet. If only I had the Rune Crab instead of the Hedron Crab, I could jump, or I could like block this, but I am going to take 2 damage here. So they've got 26 cards in their deck, so we're probably going to have to use both of these Tasha's Hideous Laughters. But like, I love having this unimpeachable mono blue mana base. Because Fractured Sanity is a lot of mana. Like, they could K-Command and remove our Hedron Crab, which would not necessarily save them here. I love just being able to ignore One Ring. How sweet is that? They can ignore like tapping their life, paying life here. Okay, 7 mana. They're going to exile this. That's fine. I actually don't even care that much. It's crazy, but I don't really care. If they have Emrakul in their deck, like that could be a problem. But like, I don't think these decks are generally playing Emrakul. I think we're going to be able to race this Ugin. Like, I don't think I've ever raced an Ugin. Like, almost every other deck I just concede if this thing went on the stack and I didn't have a consigned to memory. But here, I think we're actually in a pretty good position. 3 mana. 4 mana. Okay. Karn. They can Lattice Lock us next turn. That might be good enough. That's almost certainly good enough, unfortunately. So what can we draw here that does anything? Like a Force of Will for the Lattice? I think that's like our best draw. It's just a Force. Yeah, it looks like we are going to lose this. But I want to be clear that like I didn't expect to win like a lot. Like, I'll be very happy if I have a positive record at the end of this league with this, frankly, like underpowered deck that's just really cool. it attacks on an axis. Like there are like traditionally just 2 ways to win a game of Magic the Gathering. One being killing your opponent, the other being, so let's go ahead and do this. I don't think, I'll be surprised if we even get 10 cards here. We got 13. That's not bad. So if they don't Lattice Lock us, they're dead, but they're going to Lattice Lock us. I'll just pretend I have a Force. No point in playing this land out. And I think they can win before, just by attacking with Glaring Fleshraker and doing nothing else, they can win in time. And I doubt they're going to be phased. Yeah, Mycosynth Lattice. We've seen this before. We can concede. Okay. So Disruptor Flute is definitely good here. Force Negation is coming in. Back to Basics is coming in. This card is very good against them. Consigns come in. I don't think Disruptor Flute comes in. Like, I don't know what if we name Karn. Okay, so we just dramatically changed our deck. First of all, Surgical I don't think is good here. Like, it's incidentally good. Like, it's pay 2 life. Basically mill your opponent for 3, but I don't think it's where we need to be. I was really happy that Tasha's Hideous Laughter hit like 13 or 14 cards. That was pretty phenomenal. So Daze comes out, like it's just not where we want to be. I don't even like this card in this deck, frankly. I don't like playing Daze in decks that don't have Wasteland, but all the mill players are playing it, and I presume that there's a good reason for that. So I'll just defer to the wisdom of the crowds, which can often be the madness of crowds. I think we take out Archive Trap because we just don't have a good way to get our opponent to shuffle. Because like Back to Basics is practically KO. And that feels like way stronger than, having some card that in theory could hit your opponent for 13, but in practice, I think the only thing they use to search is Urza Saga, and it just may not even show up in the game. So we can potentially Disruptor Flute Urza Saga. That is an angle that we need to worry about, but they don't need combat damage to win. They can just cast a bunch of spells and win off of the Phyrexian Dread or Glaring Fleshrakers, if that makes sense. It does feel weird to take Archive Trap out because it's like the best mill spell ever, but it's just so dead in this matchup. Yeah, we're going to do this. Field of Ruin, notable here for essentially like sinkholing our opponent. They shouldn't have a basic in the deck that they can fetch. They might have a basic waste, but I seriously doubt it. Let's go. All right, let's find those Back to Basics. This is fine. Double Crab Hand. I think that's actually pretty good. And we have Force Negation, which will almost certainly pitch the Brainstorm here. Like, Brainstorm is a nice to have in this deck. It's not necessary. I'll play out the Janky Crab first. No, I'll play this one out because this can block Phyrexian Dreadnought. Janky Crab. Like, this card literally has like a bunch of jank attached to it. I was just at the ocean, and they have these rocks with barnacles and stuff, and they just collect all these like seashell fragments. It's really weird looking at like a rock with a bunch of barnacles attached to it. Like, the barnacles are still alive, Crazy. And this guy just carries that stuff around on him. It's like, hair braids or whatever. You know what? I am going to crab you hard. We can get rid of this Brainstorm. I'm not sure that was correct, but like, I know that I'm going to get double trigger here. And then every land I draw is going to be another trigger. And that feels pretty good. Oh, freaking heck. I screwed up. I'm sorry, my excellent friends. I screwed up. That was a punt. That was a total punt. Like that's 3 damage that we're not going to do here. And I will go ahead and do it now. Yeah, I mean, that might be the game, frankly. It might be that close. Okay. And we're always targeting them. Always yield. Okay. And unfortunately, like force pitching, I don't want to have to force something here, but I probably will. Yeah. I mean, just imagine if they were 40 cards instead of 43. Yeah. It'll take me a while to get the play patterns down. I don't think I ever have okay. And this is a problem. I'm going to just let it go. I don't know what they're going to name here. There actually aren't any activated abilities in my entire deck, I don't believe, other than Field of Ruin, which they would be very heads up. Like they might be like Googling right now, what does Mill have in it that I even care about? Field of Ruin is the only card I think that they could name. So definitely shout out to my opponent. Oh, they chose Flooded Strain. Interesting. Candelabra. This allows them to create multiple, but only if they have a lot of mana. I'm just going to trust that my force is better spent on like something consequential, like a Karn. Best draw is a land. Okay. Well, we're chilling. So we're going to be facing some constructs soon. I don't think we're going to win, unfortunately. I think maybe I just let them kill. And now they have 1, 2. They're going to have the Metalcraft. I mean, this gives them Metalcraft. It feels very bad to counter this. Let's put it that way. But they play this. They have Metalcraft. This taps for a lot. Yeah, I think I have to force this, sadly. It's not what I would like to force, for sure. And now they can only create 1. But like if I hadn't done that, they'd probably be able to create like several. I didn't do the math. But they could like tap this for 3. And then they untap. They had 5 extra mana. And then they have the other 3. So yeah, I think they could probably create 2 constructs there. Come on, land. Not Flooded Strand. Okay, let's go find a land. Scalding Tarn does it. Do we want to just draw 2 of these in a row? I actually think we do from here. So I'll just play this. I'm not going to be able to do the laughter anyway. Okay. And assuming these stick, we might be able to race them here. Because we're going to be able to quadruple trigger, which is 24 cards. And then we also take out, that's the line. I was thinking about playing this mana. This card, it's, they're not even using it. That's scary. Well, I don't think they have a second Pithy Needle, so I'm going to leave this. But if they do have a second Pithy Needle for some reason and they Needle Tarn, I'll be screwed. They didn't make any constructs here. 5 mana. A lot of mana. Okay. They may just exile both of these, in which case I'm dead. Okay, Fleshraker's not death. 3, 4. Okay, 1 ring. No problem. Oh, wait. Each opponent. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good. I think we can win now. Yeah, the fact that these abilities don't target is so strong. Oh, wait, no, this is freaking target. That sucks. Okay, so I'll just have to crack these during their turn. But that means that, like, I crack 1 and I can Tishana's. Okay, and now they have, like, we're definitely dead if they untap. They're down to 1 card, but I believe that they will be able to draw enough cards to be able to do us in here. So this is, like, double power crept. Because it's each opponent instead of just target opponent. So I believe I have a Brainstorm on top. I probably should target myself with this, so I'm going to clear the auto targets. How do I do that? So here, this needs to be cast. And I do need to... I got to double trigger if I want to cast. But I think... Let's think about this. Are there any chances that we don't die next turn? I feel very confident that we're going to die with double out. They're going to be able to ping the hell out of us. Like a single K command, and they've pinged the hell out of us. So I'm going to go like this. Unfortunately, I have to choose myself here. Okay, and now 30 deck points. I think it's extremely unlikely we get there here. If I wait to their upkeep, this is a sorcery. I don't get to get these. So I think we just accept the fact that, I'll crack the other one during their upkeep. We'll see how close we are. If we get within 6, target myself, I guess. And they do that. Okay, so I'm going to set the stop in the upkeep here. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, it's not even close. All right, we can pass. Yeah, so we potentially are... They get to untap, so they could K command with the trigger on the stack, but I think we do it now before they get to draw. Because the odds of us drawing another crab and that being playing that out. Okay. Wow, that's the last island in our deck too. All right. I mean, it's possible that like they have to draw a lot of cards and they can't win in time. I don't know. But I think it's extremely unlikely that they can't win. So they draw 2 cards. They're down to 9 cards. Monolith. I'll just F6. Yeah, and this is like we're so close to death here. They do need a K command, but if they find a K command, we're totally cooked. Okay, yeah, that's a K command. yeah, we're dead. Good game. So like they're gonna deal like 10 damage immediately with these things. Well, I'll wait till they actually cast it, but yeah, they're casting it. I go ahead and put it on the stack so we can move on with our lives. I did my best here. I didn't do my best, frankly. Like I did miss out on a crab trigger. Yeah. So we were about to take just insane amounts of damage. Round 2, we're 0-1. We're up against a likely blue-black tempo player, but they also sometimes play the Ocelot Pride deck. I'm never throwing back hands that have crabs and lands. Just like with like burn and stuff, like people misunderstand. They think that the burn is what gets you there. No, it's the creatures that represent like recurring damage that get you there. And then the burn just helps finish the job and clear the way for the creatures. And I think that's kind of like what we're doing here with crabs. So I'm going to go ahead and just play this crab out and hope they don't kill it. I could hold for a turn, but this crab can potentially block, which is, yeah, it doesn't actually matter. I think there's a high likelihood they kill my crab, and then I'll just be pretty sad. But like I can brainstorm, shuffle away, maybe a card that's not very good here if they don't have a plow. They may just ignore it, but if somebody plays a crab against you, it means that they're the only creatures are going to be crabs. They have the Guided Souls Ocelot Pride combo. They do have the plow. Well, that sucks. Okay, so we're going to need a miracle here, but we do have 3 Ensnaring Bridge, which will be hard for them to stop. They may just not be able to answer it. I'm not actually sure if they have answers for it. They could flip a Johnny and kill us that way if we get that out, but it'll slow them down a lot. Okay, and now they get... All right. Archive Trap. That's a good card usually. I think what I do here is I go ahead and brainstorm first. Does that matter? Yeah, I'm going to brainstorm here because I've got too much Field of Ruin. Okay. Yeah, I have too much Field of Ruin. I'll put one of those back. I do need the 3rd land, and I need the Field of Ruin to trigger Archive Trap. I could Surgical here and maybe get lucky and take... But they're going to be going after my life points. I don't really like Surgical here, frankly. They're not going to use their graveyard for anything really, except for that if they're playing the desert that brings back creatures. I only need to Field of Ruin once, and that'll probably be enough. Depending on whether I draw. Do I want to force here, or maybe I just want to keep all the mill? I'm trying to figure out how many turns I have, because if I have time to, Field of Ruin and Archive Trap them, and then if I also have time to Hideous Laughter twice, Hideous Laughter will be very good against their deck because they are very low curve. I think their curve tops out at 2. If I'm going to ruin, if I use the Ruin, then I get a land back, so I don't need the 3rd land. I think I put back the Surgical. Right? Yeah, because I don't even care about that plow at this point. Like, I'm going to have to win through Hideous Laughter. So let's pass. So we can force something pitching Hideous Laughter. We absolutely have to. I'm trying to think of what that would be. Like a second Ocelot Pride might qualify. Amp Raptor, if we force this, we do slow them down dramatically because we remove, and it's basically like we're 2-for-1ing ourselves. I think I'm going to do it. And now we're probably going to need to draw some sort of interaction spell. If they hit us for 3, which is not the end of the world, but it's going to be a lot more next turn. But we kept them from getting the City's Blessing, which they might have gotten. Like I just think like Amp Raptor into a Johnny, like how catastrophic that would be. Okay. And I think I don't want the Surgical, so I'll just go to my upkeep and fetch before I draw. So far, they still have 51 deck points. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. Another Surgical. Okay, so let's think about this. Is there any reason to use this Surgical? I think what we do here is we reduce their mana here. I could go ahead and hit this. I don't mind them drawing. Caracas doesn't mean anything to me. It's mostly used for defensive rather than offensive. I could Surgical and see what's in their hand first. I could also, I think Ajani's the scariest thing in their deck, so maybe I want to take the Ajani. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the plateau here. We both search. I'll get an island. Did I keep too many lands or did I draw a land? I think I may have kept too many lands because I may have had an opportunity to put back a Flooded Strand. Because, I may have drawn, but I thought I'd draw a Surgical Extraction. I think I screwed up. Let's go ahead and do this to them, see what's in their hand, and then we can take a card out of their hand if we get lucky. Actually, we can't see what is in their hand yet. So the card that I'm most worried about is definitely not in here, unfortunately. It's the Ajani. I think Amped Raptor is pretty good. So I'll wait till their draw step after they've drawn, and then I'll target Amped Raptor. And then we'll Tasha's, that's it. Tishana's a different character. Tasha's somebody with a name that like actually sounds like somebody you'd meet here in Texas. Tishana, I've never heard in the wild. Okay, so this is after they've drawn. So do we want to go with Amped Raptor? They've got only one in the graveyard. Yeah, I don't want them to Amped Raptor. That's probably the scariest thing they could do. We are taking 2 damage here. I'm trying to think if we can survive. Okay, we didn't hit it. They have an Ocelot Pride in hand, so they're going to go crazy with cats, and I don't think we have a chance to survive, unfortunately. Let's take a look at their list while we're at it. Hexing Squelchers, Guided Souls, and, oh yeah, they do have the 3 Ajanis. I didn't miss it, did I? Because it's a different frame. No, they just play 3. Goblin Bombardment is probably just GG if they resolve it, but yeah. Okay. Now, they get to draw. Or they already drew. This happened, like they draw at the beginning and then you get a chance to react before they move to the next stage. Okay, so that is 3. So we're going to take a lot of damage here. Okay, they had one in the hand. Okay, I guess I didn't see it. I don't think there's any hope here. I'm going to concede. Like there's no way that we're hitting 30 plus cards with this. Maybe there was a way. Yeah, maybe I punted prematurely. Maybe there was a premature concession. Okay, so Ensnaring Bridge comes out. That's it. Or Ensnaring Bridge comes in, rather. I think the card that comes out is probably Surgical. I don't want to be doing damage. It doesn't have any benefit. Disruptor Flute, no. So I guess we'll keep 1 Surgical. I don't want to bring in Force Negation. I don't think it's good against their deck. So let's treat Surgical as a way to like free mill for 3. Of course we drew it, but we also drew Ensnaring Bridge, so I have to keep. And I'm not going to learn my lesson. I'm still going to open Hedron Crab just in case I draw a fetch. Be mana efficient here. Is that true? I could ponder, but I think it's correct to just play this out. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they just cut their plows, and they probably have Pyroblasts. Now the question is, do I defend this? I don't think I do. Okay, so we don't have Archive Trap in hand. Should be like a creature, I imagine. Yeah. So I'm just gonna trust that I can get my hand empty and that this isn't gonna matter. Okay, perfect. All right, so what we can do is, I think I just Hedron Crab, and then I'm looking to like take Guide out of the picture. Actually, the card I really want to remove, Ajani, but they also have Goblin Bombardment. So either of those would be potentially ruinous. Let's do this, see what we hit. Okay, we did find Ajani. I do want to get rid of him. I'm just going to go and do this first. I'll do it during the draw step, but I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Okay, and they do have Pyroblast, but that isn't going to affect our Ensnaring Bridge, which is our real win con here. So I think what I do is I pass their upkeep, and then I just hit their Ajani. I should ponder here just for momentum. Oh, a second Hedron Crab I think is worth it. And then we draw the land. Actually, I don't want the land I want because I'll get a land off that, and I never need more than 3 lands. Yeah, I punted. Okay, so we'll play this out. And now I don't have force, but it's probably okay. Because again, I don't think they have... We'll see when we surgical them whether they have any answers to this. Okay, so they drew their card. Now we're going to go ahead and take a Johnny. Okay, they didn't have a Johnny in hand. They have Double Plow, and none of these cards are going to be a big deal if we can get our hand empty, which we should be able to. Let's think about this. They have Sand Scout, so they are going to be able to use the graveyard card to bring back a creature, right? They have it in here somewhere. Yeah, the Lazotep Quarry. So hand is Sand Scout, Double Plow. I think they're just going to use the Double Plow and probably hold the Pyroblast for something else. But I don't think if I can empty my hand, how would they win? Just Goblin Bombardment, I think, is the only way they can win. Yeah, I don't see any... Yeah, as long as I keep my hand empty, which I should be able to do unless I just draw like a whole bunch of archive traps and they're not shuffling. Okay, so let's do that. And if they plow right now, they can save themselves a lot of fetching. But it said they're playing a Wasteland for some reason. Okay, that's fine. Like, do they not have another land in hand? I guess they don't. Okay, well, that's good. So they still have a plow. I don't have any more surgicals, but I would definitely surgical here. There's no reason for me to take this damage. I don't think it matters if I take it or if I block here. So I will block. Okay. And now we just need to empty our hand. Actually, it is tempting to hit this rather than play that out because that's double trigger. Yeah, that's a freaking land that I didn't need. So we hit this. They don't have access to anything. No, they get a basic land off of it and it's untapped. I don't want to give them a wasteful land on a turn where I'm going to play something. So I'll just do this. Trigger. Now let's play this out. Ensnaring Bridge. I believe I'm drawing like a blue card, so I can use that to force something, and then I'll be empty. They'll need Goblin Bombardment. I think I've already said that many times. Sorry. Goblin Bombardment. That's the card I fear. Oh, please don't wheel into freaking Goblin Bombardment. Another Amped Raptor. Okay, this is not that big of a deal. Okay. So they get the energy, but they can't do anything with it. Oh, do they have the thing that exiles the static prison? That would get rid of my Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, so we're going to block here. It doesn't matter. And now, when did they get this Arid Mesa? When did this get revealed? Did they have that in hand? Oh, this got revealed off of that. Okay, so, but it's in exile. Okay. Yeah, Arid Mesa is in exile. Okay. So they still have Pyroblast. I accidentally dismissed it. Okay. So the land comes into play untapped so they could get a plow, unfortunately. So I do need to just do this here, I think, to ensure that they can't attack. And what I'm hoping to do is they cast anything and I can force. And then they're trapped behind the bridge for the rest of the game, probably. Because I have so much mana that like it'll be unlikely. Yeah, I think I have so much land, it'll be unlikely that they're able to do anything here. But they have a Pyroblast, but it doesn't matter. Like I'm just going to force here to get empty, and then they can't attack. And then basically we're just trying to draw lands for our crab, and anything we draw that like we've still got our I think 7 remaining mill your deck cards. Voice of Victory doesn't matter. It can't attack. As long as we keep Hellbent, they can't win. But the moment we get something we can't cast, we're in trouble. Why is that in my deck? Oh my goodness. I'm going to die because of freaking days. That sucks. I guess I should have taken it out. Oh, I don't think there were any cards to bring. Like I didn't have enough cards to cut. I'll daze literally anything. But then, yeah, I have to spend the mana that days. So any spell they cast, I'm going to daze it. I don't care. Oh, I can't freaking daze because of Voice of Victory. What a freaking beating. Holy cow. And now they got City's Blessing. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I'm losing this game. I cannot believe this. I can't believe I'm losing with freaking Ensnaring Bridge out. This is embarrassing. Yeah, I'll take like 10 here. And they get to keep these. So like next turn, I'm dead, unfortunately. There's no way I can get this daze out of my hand. Should I block? I guess I should block something. I don't think they have like Bowmaster in their deck. They're playing the, yeah, it doesn't matter. So these will die, but they'll get new ones that don't die. And they'll just get like tons of cats. Well, they'll just get 2 cats, I believe. But still, it might as well be a ton of cats. Yeah, Days definitely very bad. I should have just kept the surgicals. So I'm learning. And you're learning too, importantly. Practice your sanity. No chance. Oh, wait, I can daze this. So I just have to cast this with priority. So I have to hold shift. Let me just double check my settings here. Retain priority after casting shift. I'm showing this because if this doesn't work for some reason, it's not my fault, it's MTGO's. So you have to hold shift before you even click on it. Cast. Blue, 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 blue. You should allow me to daze this. I'm going to daze this. Okay, and now I can just pay for it. Take 13. Use 60 point life player. We're in a 60 life format. Okay, you get like a Sand Scout trigger. That's fine. Now we will play a plains, or an island rather. We'll mill them again, and it's just a matter of like if we draw like a fetch or something like that, we're fine. If they draw a bombardment or whatever, then we're screwed. I am definitely taking out as many days as I can here, and I'll just play surgicals. They can't attack, so they can't create new cats. Glorious. Just give me one of those good spells that like ends the game, please, deck. I think they've already used their Pyroblast. Field of Ruin. Well, that is pretty good. Take some deck points. I think we just hit the plateau here while we can, in case they have like removal that they draw. We do have a land we can fetch out of our deck. They're going to take 3 more deck points here. They have a Pyroblast for that. Well, that sucks. But they're still under the Ensnaring Bridge. And they're Hellbent over there too. And now we can't hardcast really anything, unfortunately. If they find a force, we're just dead. So we need, like, this is why I'm playing like a bunch of Brainstorms and Ponders in the deck. And you should too. You may be like, I don't need it. Like, this is basically no, you're going to need your Brainstorms and Ponders to make sure you stay under the bridge. Like, this deck is like why we have the bridge in here. It's really important. Okay, our opponent's passing without play, which we love to see. Come on, good card, please. Oh, that's not bad. I'll play that. And is there any reason to go ahead and blow up something here? Not really, because I hold 6. I'll just hold it just in case I like draw a crab or something. Like blowing up their stuff isn't consequential here. We're very dead if we ever brick on draws. And I don't want to... oh, perfect. Yeah, we dodged another bullet. It's worth noting that we no longer have enough fetchables in our deck. But like this can be used to trigger Archive Trap, which we could, of course, just cast. Please tell me you didn't draw something relevant. They're wasting to create that Sand Scout. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm trying to think of why we wouldn't just do this. Let's see. This costs 4x, so we can take away their ability. No, wait. 1, 2. They play X plus 2. They could, in theory, still use this. Let's take away their Caracas, I guess. I don't think it matters. And I could just fail to find. They failed to find. There's no reason to pay life here. I've got my 5 lands, and that will cast every spell in my deck that can be cast without a target. Obviously, Force can't be cast. Another Onslaught Pride is fine. All right, come on, don't break. All right, let's do this. I still have the fetchable in my deck if I need it. Okay, so this is Laughter. Should end the game if they don't have a Pyroblast. And I feel pretty confident I've just won. I could just play out the Ensnaring Bridge this turn, and then they have to kill 2 things. Because Tasha's Hideous Laughter, if they kill it, then they would also need to remove it. They actually don't have access to red anymore. So I'll just do like that, and we'll kill them now. First kill with Mill. Go ahead and draw your card. We did it. All right. Now we have to win game 3. So what did we learn? Surgical is going to stay in the deck just because it's so important to keep your hand empty. I'm going to go down on dazes. I think actually I'll bring it back to basics here. Like, it may seem kind of weird to bring it in, but it does stuff. Then I can go down 1 surgical. But like the risk of drawing like a force that I can't cast is real. Maybe I don't play force. That seems ridiculous. That seems ridiculous. Yeah, I'll just do it like this. I will say I'm having a good time. This is a fun deck. So if they shuffle it all, I will Archive Trap. This is Snap Keep, double crab hand. We don't have the Keep Us Alive card, but hopefully we can get some momentum here. And I will do this now before they have Pyroblast online. Oh, wait. I have to wait until they've actually searched their library, huh? Okay, well, that tells them if they have a Pyroblast, they should use it. I was like, trying to pay for a spell. What would they be trying to pay for here? Oh, okay. I see how it is. So you're going to Pyro now, right? Well, if you want to Pyro, you can Pyro. Yep, you Pyro. Okay. That kind of sucks that you can't do it immediately. But yeah, we got a Pyroblast out of their hand, which is good against our crabs, which are probably more important. Okay, so here I am going to play out a crab. I'll play out the lower toughness one first, because they'll most likely remove this and then I'll have the higher toughness one. I love like this crab manipulating this weird rock thing, Eldrazi rock. It's just so, like, crabs are so adorable. That's annoying. That is a win con. even under bridge. Okay, this is pretty good. So let's go ahead and crab. Now, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm just going to do this now. Save our target. Always yield. This is very important if you value your time to remember to do these things. Okay, and then I can just ponder. They're losing their deck points here. Let's go ahead and ponder. Brainstorm is going to be important later. I mean, these are pretty good. They haven't searched yet. I do think I want the Archive Trap in hand in case they do search. Then, yeah. And I can force them to search next turn anyway. Yeah, I'll do it like that. So if they're able to flip this, they can start killing my crabs and dumbing me. It's terrifying. This is like by far the best card in their deck against me, and that's why I've been aggressively surgicaling whenever I get a chance. They're at 42 points. I think I did the math in this deck, $740, which is very reasonable by Legacy standards. And it won't get more expensive. It'll probably only get cheaper. And the reason for that is there's no reserve list cards in here. And that's true of all the decks that I play on this channel for the most part. I do occasionally play like try-hard decks that play like Tundras and Underground Seas and stuff. But for all my no reserve list card decks, which are probably like a majority of what I publish at this point, we can expect them to get cheaper and cheaper with reprints. Okay, so I am just going to block this. It's free. Actually, I can block both of these. I don't believe they're going to have anything that would suddenly kill these. I just want to preserve my life total, so I'll block here, and I will block here. And then if they have like something do 1 damage to everything, then I'll be sad. But keeping my life total flush is important here. Okay, Gauntlet of Bombardment. So they can trigger this, and then they can kill both my crabs. So, yeah, like blocking was unfortunate, and now we're going to die. We're going to die to this thing. I feel very confident of that. Okay, so they kill my crab. Yeah, I don't think like they needed to have exactly this card. This is the only card that blew us out. But they have 2 of them in their deck. Now they can do this to this, and that's dead too. Yeah, there's a blowout. It is an absolute blowout, but I don't think that I erred in blocking. Like they should always attack regardless of whether I have that. And it's just unfortunate that it ended up that way. Okay, so here, I think we just go ahead and they might have a Pyroblast for my Archive Trap, but I'm trying to think of a reason not to do this now because I can Brainstorm with the land. And then what we're trying to do is basically Archive Trap them and then Hideous Laughter twice before they kill us, which is unlikely. Like we're almost certainly dead here. Okay, and they didn't have the Pyro there. 27 deck points. I'm going to do the mana efficient thing and Brainstorm now. We may be able to erase them. I don't like this Surgical. Rune Crab is too late to the party, frankly. He'll just get killed every turn. So what I think I have to do is I could Surgical myself to shuffle. That seems terrible. So Tasha's that like if we resolve this twice, I think we will win. So like Surgical is probably the best card here. Let's think, is there any card that they could draw that would just be devastating from here? They do have Static Prison. Okay, so they do have it in their 75. I figured they did. I just didn't see it. I didn't look for it. Okay, so I think we've got all 3 Pyro. I seriously doubt they play a 4th Pyroblast. So it's really just like, can Johnny kill me before I can Tasha's twice? I think if I Tasha's, they're going to lose. Wasteland. Okay, what do you have over there? That's a good card, but it doesn't really matter against me. It does, like every creature, that card does matter a lot because that's extra creatures. So now they can dome me for like 4. So I think I am going to die, unfortunately. This Tasha's would have to be exceptionally lucky. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm not dead this turn, am I? No. Okay, so I'll take the 2. So I'm just going to take it as an article of faith that I'm dead next turn. Because if you think about it, let's do the math. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and that'll hit. So I am dead on board. So I should Surgical their most high mana value card that they don't already have a lot of copies of out. So Voice of Victory. They only have 1 Voice of Victory. So I think, Halia is probably a 1 of. So I think I Surgical Voice of Victory here, and then I Tishana and hope that works. I don't think it's going to work. We'll have to hit a lot of lands. Their hand is Wasteland. But again, their hand doesn't matter because we're just dead with their current board. All right. Let's see if we are exceptionally lucky here. Oh, yeah, and we're dead to Goblin Bombardment as well. 6. We got close. Good games. All right, we're up against the Epic Storm. This is a dangerous matchup because they have access to Echo Vions, which we're putting in their graveyard. But this should be fun. Let's do it. Echo of Eons is particularly dangerous because it puts all their cards back in their deck. So not only is it like a combo piece, but it's defense against what we're doing over here. So I'm going to let them go ahead and do whatever they're going to do. If they like brainstorm or ponder or something, we can clear that for them. I'll just double archive trap and then I'll surgical the echoes. Let's go ahead and do that. I mean, if they have a line where they kill me with that echoes, it's a bummer. Okay, we found Echo of Eons. Let's go ahead and surgical them and take a look at their hand before we do anything else. They did have the echoes in hand. They still have the ability to search for it because they have another echoes from Burning Wish. I don't believe Burning Wish can get cards from exile. It can only get from thing. They have gamble. They could gamble for Burning Wish here. They could Song of Creation, which they don't have the mana for. I'm not sure what their line is here. I think they gamble for LED and then they try to do that. That was what they were planning to do. Okay. Take a look at their hand. It looks like a pretty typical, this is a very loud gamble. My goodness. The gamble sorcery. Head splitting. Okay. Tendrils of Agony is in there. Runehorn Hellkite is a card that we could put in the graveyard, but it would actually help us because it doesn't clear their graveyard. Yeah, I think this is fine. And then I can just archive trap again just to ensure that I can max the damage. They're not going to be able to put anything back in their deck, assuming they don't find a Burning Wish. They might go for Burning Wish here, but then they're pretty far from casting Echo. And Song of Creation, it does draw a lot of cards and potentially kills them. Okay. Now I'll just go ahead and archive trap them a second time. Okay. And now I'm going to just let them go. Do whatever you want to do, friend. Okay. And they just pass. So I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to go get, they're probably going to slow train the Song of Creation and try to win that way. Okay, Rune Crab as a turn 1 play. I think we just ponder for a force because then we can like get the trigger off Rune Crab next turn anyway if we find a land. And we just need to get to three mana. Okay, this is not good enough, frankly. I mean, it is Rune Crab plus Field of Ruin, but I don't think that Field of Ruin helps us. Like, it barely helps us cast. I think we just want lands. But Ponder, this is a land. Okay. I'm going to keep this, and what I'll do is I'll just, next turn I'll just Rune Crab and Field of Ruin, and that'll trigger. And then what I can do is I can target myself to get rid of the second Hedron Crab, and I'll have Ponder in my hand for the subsequent turn. And then once we get like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, their deck is very low curve. So I think that'll maybe kill their entire deck. So next turn they could, like if they have one more land, they have the Lotus Petal, they could cast Song of Creation. They do have access to the colors necessary for that. Okay, so here I'm going to play Rune Crab. They're down to 24. I think it is probably better to just hit them with this Rune Crab trigger. They do have Runehorn Hellkite in their yard, but that costs a fortune in terms of mana. Actually, it's opponent's mill, so we don't actually have the ability to target ourselves with this. Okay, well that simplifies things. I forgot that it was opponents. This is a way better card, but in this very specific situation where we want to clear a mediocre card, we don't have that option. My opponent said they are laughing on the floor at what I'm playing, and that is a compliment to me. I had somebody like laughing at my Slitherblade the other day, like, what the heck? Like, you were brewing, you were cooking, friend, or something like that. And it was in good jest. I don't interpret this as like insults or anything like that. But basically, after that, then I proceeded to beat them with my ninjas. And that felt great. Okay, so here, I think this is just a ponder. We're just looking for any land. And we find lots of land and a daze. But I do think we just go ahead and I probably play the Polluted Delta now, and then next turn I can Delta again and potentially Rune Crab and hit them hard. So yeah, I'm not going to take the days. I'll just take these. And we might be able to just kill them with just these. I think with that land on top, yeah, I do want to wait because next turn Rune Crab double trigger. They're going to be very close to dead. They're gambling for LED, I believe, or maybe for Burning Wish. Because again, they do have an Echo of Eons in their sideboard. They would need an LED, though. They discard Burning Wish. I think they went for that. Okay, well, that's great. I believe that was what they were going for, and we just got lucky. They scoop. Great. Yeah, I'm confident the way that they scooped like that, they put the card that they look for in there. Okay, so here, Force Negation, get in the deck. Consigned memory get in the deck. Surgical was actually really good there. It gave us information. I'm not going to take out any counter magic. They're definitely going to be searching, so Archive Trap is great. I don't think Disruptor Flute is where we want to be. Back to Basics is not where we want to be. Like, that's not the choke point. It feels weird to take out the Days, but I am considering taking those out. The other option is they scooped without me really like using the crabs. I could just cut like 8 crabs and then just kill them with the spells. I don't know that that's totally crazy, but that seems weird to do that. But I do want to keep my mana up because I need to keep Consign up. I don't have any Hydroblast. That was a card that there's definitely a card I could have put in here. If you're like looking for but Disruptor Flute seemed more generally good against combo. But Hydroblast would have been good in the previous round as well. Yeah, maybe that. And you could argue maybe Back to Basics because we're kind of a combo deck. Maybe we don't even need Back to Basics in here. And we could just play like 2 Hydroblasts or even 3 Hydroblasts and 1 Disruptor Flute. Anyway, again, this is a brew. So my play is not going to be optimal. My list is not going to be optimal. Deal with it. Thanks for tuning in, though. Really, it means a lot to me, and I wanted to show the process of me exploring this space because this is totally new to me. Before today, I'd never played Mill. I'd never even considered playing Mill. Frankly, I just thought it wasn't a good deck, but I can see the merits already. Yeah, I mean, Hedron Crab. I do think we just go for these haymakers because the problem is Hedron Crab. Like we do a little bit of work, and they're not dead. Yeah, I'm gonna take out my crabs. Call me crazy. I don't really need field runes. Actually, I'm going to take out the field runes. I'll just put it in the crabs. All right, let's do that. So we cut a bunch of lands. We still have plenty of lands. We've got 16 lands, which we can find with our cantrips and stuff. And we drew plenty of lands. We have a Force Hand. We have Fractured Sanity for later. We have Ponder to find more interaction. Let's keep this. They mulled a 6. Mulled a 5. Okay. Underground Sea, pass. I'm going to crab. You don't put crab in your deck not to cast him. Look at all the barnacles on that dude. He is a well-barnacled dude. That's fine. The card I'll pitch is going to be a Ponder. I'm going to Fractured Sanity them. But like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, the fact that it exiles is so much better than Fractured Sanity here. Because, again, we run the risk of exposing. And I'm not even sure if we should do stuff here. Oh, now we can do whatever the hell we want. That's great. Let's go ahead and hit them with this. Hit you with a little thing. All right. There's silence. That's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to do this now. I could have definitely pondered first. Always yield. It'd be nice if it like removed your always yield settings between games. Okay, let's ponder. I have Force Negation. Don't mind if I do. And a freaking Tasha's. So I think what we do here is we have double Force up and Surgical. Then we're basically rolled up, and then we draw the Misty, and then the subsequent turn we can actually Fractured Sanity next turn, and then Tasha's the subsequent turn. And we don't have to worry about Fractured Sanity hitting. So just to be completely clear, Fractured Sanity is a nice to have. We don't have to have it. I'm just going to double Force here. They could use the Dragon, but like... I'm not going to go through that. But like if they have the Dragon, it's frustrating. I don't get a window to exile the Dragon with Surgical here. Let's think about this. What are they going to do here? I think they may have the Dragon in hand. That would make sense. And if they have the Dragon, it's catastrophic. I still have a chance to stop the Dragon. Like the LED, and then there's no priority passing. The Dragon is in the graveyard, and then they activate it. And the activation is an exile effect, and there's nothing I can do to stop that trigger. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and just speculatively force this. I'm not happy about it. Oh, wait. You know, if I force pitching this, then I have Force Negation to stop. It's not like we're going to have to kill a creature here. Yeah, I'll do that. And that way, they could like bail it or whatever. I think what they might have been planning to do is put a Echo of Eons in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and hit him with this. Actually, if we hit him with this, then we don't have... I do want to Fractured Sanity. So we'll hit him, and then I can Fractured Sanity. And then I don't have Force Negation up, but like we've removed their ability to use their graveyard. Let's think about this. I mean, as it is, I have Force Negation up. I'm going to do it. No guts, no glory, right? And then we can surgical their Echo, and then they have to win with the dragon, but they can't shuffle things back in. And we should hit an Echo here. We did. We should wait till their draw step. I don't know if my life changed, so I don't know if they know that I'm drawing this. Let's take a look at what they have. So they have the Echo. Yeah, we wait till the draw step, and I don't think there's any risk because, like, even if they silence or something during their upkeep, we're still fine. I think silence is an instant. Well, we can mouse over to make sure. Yeah. But even if they put it on the stack, like, we've dealt with it. We are contributing to their storm if we do it during their turn. That does bring my life total a lot lower, and it contributes to storm. So this is basically, we're like kind of paying 4 life for this. We could also exile Burning Wish, which has the double effect of like, but then they still have the tendrils in their deck. Yeah, I'm going to wait and, I'm just going to do it now. Because like the upside of like getting an extra card out of their hand is not worth the downside, in my humble opinion. And then next turn, we almost certainly win because we Tishana's. Okay, they have a Burning Wish and a Silence. So I think what they can do is they pay 2, they Dark Ritual, and they pay 2. I don't think they have enough for, no, then they just crack. Yeah, they are going to Echo from exile. That really sucks, and I don't have a blue card, so I screwed up. I needed to be more patient. So I lose. We will get a new grip. The game's not over, but it's almost certainly over. Yeah, and they can even, I think they'll even have the mana to cast Silence before they do it too. So yeah. All right, good game. We'll see. I mean, they could whiff. It's unlikely. One of the things to note is they won't have any Echoes left in the deck after they do this, and they won't have a way to get another one. So they're going to need to do Storm 8 this turn, basically, which I think they can probably do that. I can just F6 since they silenced. Here we go. So they'll have 2 mana left in their pool once they draw. Yeah, had I just waited, but like I wasn't sure. Okay, so to defend myself, like for all we knew, they could have had the dragon. They could have had a lot of stuff over there. Okay, so this is not a bad hand by any means, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to stop them. Like they have to like basically pass. They've already made their land drop. If they have Dark Ritual into Beseech or something like that. Okay, wow. We get another freaking turn. That's insane. Okay. So now we have like really good setup here because we've got double force and I can Tishana's and I've also got Daze. I've got Archive Trap. They've got 47 cards in deck, but their curve is so low that I anticipate Tishana's potentially doing them in. Let's go ahead and do it. 19 cards. That's it. Well, that sucks. I was hoping for a lot more than that. All right, we'll pass. Archive Trap is good. We've got double trigger next turn, so 6 more cards. Cards we have in exile. Did we get the Tendrils? We did not, unfortunately. So Tendrils is still on the table here. They've been a rune. Wait, we did get the Runehorn Hellkite, but they would be probably crazy to use that against us. Wait, am I looking at their graveyard or the exile? Okay, let's just go to the graveyard to not be distracted here. I think this is fine, and then we just fight over the Beseech. If they're beseeching, they don't have anything. Okay, that's fine. Burning Wish. I think this is going for Tendrils. I think I'm supposed to force here. I'll pitch Brainstorm, I think, because Daze might, like if they try to go for a Beseech, I can Daze, which would be good. And I have like a tremendous amount of experience playing against this deck. So if you're not following exactly like all the different lines I'm talking about, I've never played it myself, but like I've probably played against it more than 100 times. The main thing is we just need to stay out of Tendrils range in case they have like natty Tendrils that doesn't involve like searching their deck. And that's why I used the Force Negation here. But in retrospect, I should have used the Force of Will. Just because like we did keep a life and thus one less storm or one more storm that they'll need in order to kill us. But that could have been hardcast next turn. And Force, I guess technically I can hardcast Force next turn too. Okay, it resolves. Oh, the mana is cleared. I think we just won, friends. My excellent friends. We got a Rune Crab. Let's finish them quickly. They're going to take 12 here. We still have Daze and Force up. Boom, shakalaka. There's the Tendrils. Good luck killing me without that. Okay. Yeah. They fetch or do anything, they're dead. I guess next turn I could just literally cast Archive Track. I forgot that you can actually cast it. Wait, could I have an archive trapped and kill them? No, that wouldn't have done enough. Okay, do you still have a land to fetch? They fail to find. All right. Do I just want to do it now? Or do I want to give them hope unnecessarily? They did search, so I can cast Paying Zero. Okay, you've got a 0-card deck. Good games. Wow. Did we just 2-0 them? That felt good. Round 3, we're 1-2. After beating Storm, we're up against Storm again, most likely. Keep. Very, very strong keep, in my humble opinion, if they're on Storm, because we have Rune Crab, which is always a keep. And then we have double Surgical. And we just have to hope they give us a turn to set up. And then our Surgicals come online because we can potentially mill and remove critical cards from their deck. They are going to know what we're up to, though. The other option is I just ponder here and maybe find a Force, which I think is stronger. But I'll feel pretty dumb if they're on like some fair deck and not Storm. Also, this island is from the Ninja Turtle set. It looks like it's like some sort of park by the Brooklyn Bridge. That might be the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, I'm not from New York. I've spent a lot of time there. I love it. We got a tasteful boombox and some unfinished pizza. I'm sorry, but like who would leave a pizza with that much pizza? What kind of monster? Okay, so they may not be on Street Race. So they may be on like Doomsday, which I think that might be an okay matchup. We can't pressure the Life Turtle though. But if they Doomsday and we just like mill them, that's the end of the game, right? Dark Ritual Doomsday. Please Doomsday. Please Doomsday. I think they're dead unless they can win immediately. Wait, they could have even if they had the thing in hand, we're gonna mill twice. The Thassa's Oracle being the thing. Sorry, my words fail me sometimes. One of the nice things about playing against Doomsday opponents is they're very polite and they let you take a look at their deck. Do you have the win right now? I see LED out. This looks like a typical turbo. Yeah, I think we just Shadow Realm. Yeah, I didn't see anything interesting in there. I'm not going to do the BCD. I'm just going to see whether this works. The BCD, Buffalo Chicken Dip. They said, am I dead to Crab Mill? Yes, you are, friend. Yes, you are. Show me your pile. Or just scoop. Good game. Love this matchup. Okay, so I think... I think the Force Negations are pretty obviously good. Days, this is going to be a short match. Like, Days might actually be good here. I don't know the Fractured Sanity is going to come up. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, like potentially exiling critical cards in their deck is going to be way better than Fractured Sanity. I think the cut is the Fractured Sanity. Does Surgical Extraction do anything here? It can mess up their pile, which is not nothing. It can check their hand. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to be searching their deck anyway, so Archive Trap is insane here. Like, just think how powerful Archive Trap would have been there if we just like immediately hit their hand or hit their library at the end of their turn, since they do search their library. This card is just bonkers. I love it. Yeah, I think we just take out the slow card, Fractured Sanity. This could actually help them if they're playing like Baragoi or something. Could help them if they're playing Merc. But this card is so much better than this card in Legacy right now, in my humble opinion. Like, I haven't done the math to figure out like the median card value of all the different top decks, but I would suspect Tasha's Hideous Laughter is better. The fact that it's easier to cast because we have like, but I didn't feel comfortable playing a deck without Fractured Sanity. I do think it's probably the worst card in the deck though. So I think that's fine to cut. We could choose Disruptor Flute. This might just randomly screw our opponent. Yeah, I think we could probably do that. What do we want to take out for that? I don't want to take out any of my well, maybe I do want to take out lands. I mean, they're going to be searching anyway. We don't have to force them. Yeah, I think I'll cut a couple of these. Field of Ruin, like their lands don't really matter. A lot of times they're going to be like cycling in response to us doing that. So yeah, we did go down a little bit in land, and they are a Daze deck, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. This hand is a Snap Keep with a Crab, Surgical, Force of Will, the best mill card in our deck, other than Archive Trap, of course. Thoughtseize probably. Yeah, that's fine. So they'll likely take Force here, but they might take Crab. What they'll probably do is take Force and then they play around the Force. Or they probably just let us have the Crab. But like Crab does limit their options if they Doomsday. This is a very strong hand for us though. And I didn't see any plan B. I didn't see any creatures. I think they're just like fully Doomsday committed, but they might bring in, but I can't imagine them bringing in creatures against us. Like, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, let's board in a bunch of Barragoyfs where we have to mill ourselves. They might bring in Mercs to close that way because it's definitely safer than Doomsday against the mill opponent. Okay, they got our force. Not a big surprise. So I'm going to crab here instead of ponder because I want to get going. Like, what we could do is if they do Doomsday, we technically have them dead because we just play the second crab and then we island and then we mill their deck. I guess I could have upkeep surgical. I'm tempted to go ahead and surgical Thoughtseize right now so we can preserve information. I'm trying to think if there's any reason to keep it. I can't think of a good reason. I don't want them to have the Thoughtseizes because I'm not going to be doing any damage. So it's just like an insane, like turbocharged Duress effect. Okay, so they just had that. They have Veil. That's good to know about. They didn't opt to, they couldn't have Veiled there. We'll take that one out. Okay, so let's take a look at their hand, or their deck strategy. So they do have Barragoyfs and Douthie. I guess, like what I was saying was wrong. I guess it does make sense, at least in their mind, to use Barry here. Hand is Douthie. Douthie can definitely kill us before we can mill them. I'm trying to think, are there any cards here that, like, did they go down to Doomsday? I only see 3 Doomsdays here. Interesting. They're just trying to transition to a bad version of Blue-Black Tempo, I guess. I don't see any Bowmasters, which is nice to know. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it there. I think we're probably losing this game. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now they can play with the Douthie here. They do have a much higher curve than they would have had otherwise, too, because like Barragoyfs and stuff like that. So Tasha's Hitty's Laughter is going to be less reliable. How many, I didn't look to see how many days they're playing. They may have taken out days completely, but I may have just missed it. I should have screenshotted. I'm not in the habit of doing that. Okay, we might be able to just crab them. Double trigger. I think what I do here is I just play out the crab, and then next turn I can ponder for a land. Like if I find a fetch land, that's 18 cards off their deck. Delta's out. We'll take 3. It's a slow clock. I think our clock, just naturally potentially milling them is going to be better than what they're doing over there. This Veil spells, can't you permanent? Yeah. So they could, in theory, Veil when I put this trigger on the stack. But these can't be... Wait. No, these are targeted. I got the wrong crab, damn it. Okay, they're doing that. Yeah, but luckily the Tasha's Hades Laughter will not target. They've been a ponder... Wait. No, they didn't bin it. That was in their hand. Okay, they're burying. I can just chump bury with these ones that, don't work with Veil. Natural fetch would be great here. There we go. There we go. Boom. Trigger. And they should Veil here. And I haven't cast a spell, so they're not going to draw, but it will save them. So check this out. They're going to Veil, and then I'm just going to put more triggers on the stack. Oh, they're realizing what's happening here. They tapped and untapped. It's an impossible situation. I love it. As somebody whose favorite chess piece is the knight, I love a good fork. So we let these resolve first. Now we fetch. And now they can Veil and stop 2 of these triggers. The Barragoyf is going to be insanely sized by the end of this. Wow, they're just taking it? That's crazy. Okay. Well, I think this is death if you don't have a counter spell. It's each opponent. I can't imagine. Well, maybe it's not death. Oh, they had the days. Brutal. I did not want them to have that. That sucks. We will pass. And unfortunately, I'm actually going to let them connect with Barragoyf. Did I put anything in the graveyard that they might use against me? I mean, they could mill my deck, but I've got lots of 5-drops and stuff in there. Tishana's. Yeah, that days was totally clutch. That was the card that they had to have. So, I guess I misread that they had a ponder and I just didn't track it correctly. So we will take this damage initially because I'll just wait till the last minute and I'll start chumping. Because I think I've got a few more turns with this. And if I can ponder into a Surveil trigger or another fetch, it's just insane. Okay, they probably opt not to use it. Yes, you love to see them turning down Barragoyf's ability because They're so low in deck points. And they can still cast a Doomsday and get like basically, but then they reduce their deck size further. All right, I'm going to try, if I can find a fetch, it's way better. Or like Tishana's, or Tasha's, rather. That's fine. You can do that. Draw your card. All right, and if they find another Daze, it's pretty bad for me. Oh my goodness, double Archive Trap is very good, but they may not use it. So I think I just go ahead and play the Tarn here, and then I can fetch during their turn. Let's see, Archive Trap is a guaranteed 13. I have it next turn. I think it's better to just go ahead and play this, get the 3 now, and then get the 9 during their upkeep, because I am going to have to let one of these crabs go. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm going to mill myself, unfortunately, into the void. It sucks. So there go my Archive Traps. But they are going to take 3 deck points here, down to 14, and then I can fetch down to 9 in their upkeep before they draw, which I think is the correct time to do it. Just in case they draw another Veil, which hopefully they won't, but like that'll really suck if they do. And then, let's see, 7. I do have to block. And I will block with one of the Rune Crabs here. 6/7, as the kids like to say. And then they'll take 6, and then they'll draw their last card. So, yeah, they might survive here, depending on what my draw is. No, wait. Yeah. I need this last draw to be good. Okay, they're attacking with both, so I don't really need to check and see what I have in exile, because that's a moot point here. So let's block. Hedron Crab, thanks for your services. Yeah, they may survive by just exactly 1 deck point here. Come on, good card. Oh, check this out. Let's play this. Double trigger. Is your last card Daze? If not, I mean, like, I'm dead. Huh. They have a Veil? It will draw them a card and kill them. Flusterstorm. All right, they survive. Good game. Yeah, that sucks. They had exactly what they needed. I'm not saying that they're lucky or anything, but like they did have exactly what they needed to stop me. That Daze, and then and I'm just dead deterministically to this Dalthy. So we got extremely close. One of the things I like in this deck too is a lot of people like will play Burn and like, oh, I was so close with Burn, but it doesn't matter how close you are if you lose. You know, it doesn't matter that I was like, 59% of the way, or like 98% of the way to them dying, because we still lose. They're adding a bunch of black mana. It doesn't really matter. Good game. That was close, but again, horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay, so I like our setup quite a bit. All right. I guess the question is, do we still believe in Disruptor Flute, knowing that they're kind of like largely pivoting off of Doomsday itself? I don't like the Fielder Rune. I mean, we could bring in Ensnaring Bridge. I think we actually do bring in Ensnaring Bridge because it's just like completely locks them. They probably have I'll bring in 2 Ensnaring Bridge. I'll keep my Dazes. Do I keep Dazes? I'm on the play. Yeah, I think I keep them. I don't like them. They said, I'm used to winning with no cards in deck, but not like that. Yeah, I don't think Fractured Sanity is good enough here. I do like the Ensnaring Bridge, though. And I almost kind of feel like we should play 3 of them. And if we're playing 3 of them, then I have to ask, okay, we've like raised the curve of our deck quite a bit. Do we want Daze? And I don't think we do. I think what we want is these Field of Runes back in. And then I have room for exactly 1 Disruptor Flute. I have room for 1 Daze, but I just increased the lane count. I think I'm going to play Disruptor Flute. And we're just going to play a slower, more deliberate game. Because if we get the bridge down, like they would have to, and we might even get 2 bridges out because I've got 3 of them in the deck. Yeah, this is a keep. Again, Crab, keep. Essentially, that's my current read on the deck. Like, Crab is just so damn good. Like, it's just a recurring source of mill. And I think I probably wait until after, like when I have Daze Protection mana. I don't know. They'll probably keep Daze in their deck, but I don't think they have a lot of removal. And this is the one that doesn't target, which is even better. All right. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, I do think we do this, and if they Daze, they Daze. This is very good for us. Always yield. We are doing what we want to do. Okay, good cards to the graveyard, including a Doomsday. Let's go ahead and just do this now. Let's see. I do think this might be a surgical opportunity here. They could have a Veil, but Veil actually doesn't protect them because we're targeting. I think we wait to upkeep and then we surgical Maybe Force. Maybe we do want a Surgical Force just because Archive Trap is going to be so strong. And Force, yeah. So I'll set the stop in their draw step. If they fetch here, I might Surgical with them not having mana on the stack. And then I could Archive Trap after I've seen their hand. It's a scary position for them to be in for sure. Facing double crab. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and Surgical Force. And I actually actively want them to Doomsday here. The reason is because then I could just Archive Trap them and kill them. So they can't daze this. They could force it. Okay. So their hand is pretty good. Got Force Negation in there. So they opted not to Force Negate. So depending on what they fetch here, they will have Veil up. They do have Doomsday, but they don't have the ability to... Oh, they have a Dark Ritual, so they could deploy it. That's scary. Okay, let's think about this. How do we proceed? Well, I don't want to Archive Trap them. I want them to Doomsday. And then I Archive Trap, they force it, and then I just kill them the subsequent turn. They won't have a way, if they do cast Doomsday, to win immediately, I don't believe. And they can't daze my Archive Trap. They can Veil it, but they're going to need to grab... Let's take a look. Let's take a look at their hand again. Okay, so their hand is... So this is... They do have another Misty, so they can use that to go fetch green. And then I can Archive Trap them then. But like Archive Trapping doesn't matter before Doomsday. Yeah, I think I need to attempt to Archive Trap when... Yeah, after the Doomsday is resolved. This is like seriously high skill Magic in my humble opinion. Like they're playing one of the hardest decks to play. And I'm playing like an extremely underpowered deck that just structurally is somehow favored against their extremely powerful deck. Okay, they did grab that. They have both Veil and Dark Ritual up. Okay, that's out of their hand. These do not target. So if they Doomsday, they're basically dead. Unless they have some crazy line with Brainstorm. Actually, with Brainstorm in the deck, they may have a line where they can like just get LED and try to win. But if they have to spend the mana on Veil... They're not going to have mana for Brainstorm. They do not have the luxury of a pass the turn line though. And Force Negation, because I can pay for days. So they're in a pretty tough bind. I think what they're thinking is, do I Dark Ritual Doomsday, Brainstorm? Okay, this is fine. So they have Veil up. Oh, that is okay. So I don't want to give them Veil equity here. I think I do need to wait. And I'll just let them connect. I don't care about my life total, though I'm not even close to dead. They Dark Ritual to play that out. So that was a good draw, I guess. Yeah, I just don't want to give them any equity. I want to wait for them to tap this before I attempt to Archive Trap. But that does mean it's going to be harder for me to do that. All right, Force Negation is a great rip. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Trigger. I do think it's fine to go ahead and do this now. Hit them again. They're down to 22 cards. Next turn, I have them dead if they Doomsday and like somehow it's left over. I think what's likely to happen here is we just take this damage and they're going to have to attack 3 times and we might be able to kill them before then. I'm just hoping that they get loose and that they leave an opportunity for us to Veil them on the table. I'm not going to do anything here. I'll just take the damage until the last chance I get to block. So they do 5 damage. They gain a bunch of life, which doesn't matter. They do not use the ability. I don't think they're playing Bowmasters. I didn't see that when they showed their deck earlier. So what they can do is they can wait till the last possible minute when I'm out of lands in hand and like they're almost dead, and then they can Doomsday. I'll let that happen. I'm not going to walk into Veil. I'm going to be extremely disciplined about this. Every mana I get on the table makes their dazes worse. So that was likely the draw for turn. Best draw would probably just be another crab. Thoughtseize. Okay, so let's... How do they search this turn? Let's think of this. I don't think they've searched this turn, unfortunately, so I can't use this. So they can just take it from me. I could try to get the daze out of their hand. I don't think that's worth doing. I think I just let them have a card. Yeah, so that might have been what they... Yeah, they took the Archive Trap. It's just fine. I mean, it wasn't going to resolve around the Veil. Now they know that if they want to Doomsday, they have to have mana up to Veil. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just... Like, I'll give them full information, but I need to hit their deck points. Do I? Actually, I think maybe I hold it because I might have to chump and then they Doomsday and then I still have the win. I think I hold this for, yeah. Okay, they're at 14. So now I can pay for, like if they just played land, they already used their Dark Ritual, so they may have to play land and then Doomsday that way. And I'm not sure if they're even thinking about casting Doomsday at this point. Well, they're going to have to attack like 4 more times to kill me. 5 more times, technically. So this goes through. There's no reason not to attack. They still have Brainstorm, which is scary because that means that represents lots of different cards. It is so refreshing to be playing against Beargoyf and like just not sweating it. Like, no big deal. It doesn't have trample. Okay, let's think about this. So Surgical, again, does not target. We're low on life, though. If I use it, then it does reduce. Let's take a look at their graveyard. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 12. So what card do they likely have 4 of in their deck that they're only showing 1 of? Like a Brainstorm would be great because I think they have a Brainstorm in their hand. There's a Brainstorm. So if I Brainstorm, they'll just use it. But that actually plays into my my game plan. They almost certainly have 4 Brainstorms. So unless they could force or negate this. They force or negate Brainstorm. Then I do have to chump, but I've already hit most of their deck points. But I will get 2 cards out of the deck. I'm just trying to think if there's something else that they almost certainly have more of. I see 2 Dark Rituals. I see they only usually play 3 Dazes. I see the other Beargoyf, Douthie. I see 2 of Doomsdays here. I could just take the Thassa's Oracle, and they can't win through the Thassa's angle. But that doesn't get them dead. They get an extra draw step. I think I just go ahead and Brainstorm here. Or go for the Brainstorm. Yeah, and I have to do it before draws. If they have Abrupt Decay, it's really powerful here. But I see 2 in their yard. They might have 1 in hand. But that would save them, potentially. I can't imagine them playing more than like 2. But they might play 3. We'll see in a second. But if they Brainstorm, then they don't have Abrupt Decay up. They force the negate. I can force back. But then they can just Veil. So I think I have to let this go. Actually, had I forced back, they would have had to draw if they Veiled. So they're going to get a card here. But I don't want them to be able to Doomsday and survive. I'm not actually... I could like try to figure out whether they even have lands to be able to cast Doomsday. Because I have... actually, that might be the play. Then they can't Doomsday me. And I can always force the Doomsday if they're casting it from hand. I don't think they likely have... Like, this would be a great time to Abrupt Decay. But they do have priority. Okay. They didn't have priority when I just played it from hand. Because they're going down to 1 card. Okay. There's the Cavern. There's Jace. And like they could untap and just jam what's her name and win if they have 2 of them, but I see 1 of them in the graveyard. So they're gonna have to, let's see, how many Dark Rituals do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not gonna be able to Dark Ritual. I don't think they can win because they're not gonna be able to cast Doomsday, and even if they do cast Doomsday, I can just force it and then they don't have Veil mana up. They're down to 0 cards. Do you have the second? Well, they don't actually have double blue. All right, so we'll block. Yeah, I don't know what they could have here. They do have the land. So they have force, which I don't think they have. I mean, I don't really... It's a force play. They said GG's. Okay, we got it. Unless they're saying GG's like, I'm about to win. Which should be annoying. Sometimes people do that. Good games. Yeah, that was fun. That was like a real puzzle. And I realized we were extremely favored there, but still, it was a puzzle from our side to check all the boxes. Final round against my favorite brewer. We are 2-2. I don't like the 5-lander. I don't think it's good enough. Punishing Waterfalls often plays decks that are that like really like cut close with the lands. Like he'll play like no basics basically sometimes. I think Field of Ruin may be good, but this is a crab hand. This is where we want to be. I'm going to keep... I think I just put back a Ponder because it's like the odd thing out. Yeah, we got enough land. I mean, we're most likely to draw land, but I'm going to want to Field of Ruin them for sure. Because it will trigger landfall. I mean, like, Field of Ruin is like just the best card for this deck. And now, like, they're on notice. We're on mill. Why else would we be playing this terrible card? All right. Okay, they may be on the white-green deck. Okay, that's a good play. It's like mono-white, but it's got like some pretty cool cards in it. I think I'm going to go ahead and actually cast the Ponder first, and then I can choose to keep 1 or more of the cards. I think I might actually keep the Days here, just in case they play like a Johnny card or something like that. These cards are all good, though. And then I could just kind of slowly play them out. But I don't actually need any more of these, so I think I just take the Days, and then I can fetch later. Yeah, like if they're on a low curve deck, Tasha should be really strong here. And I can just preserve the mystery as to whether I'm going to fetch till the end step. Guide. I think this card is pretty cracked. I think if I stop it, and then I could draw another 3-drop thing. I think I'll just play it slow and kill this. They may be on 1 land. Okay, yeah. As I like to say, like, Punishing Waterfalls plays decks that only brave people can play. Let's put it that way. He's like extremely courageous in his deck building, and we're going to punish him for it. Okay, they have another one. I can't stop that one. I think I just start Tashaing them. I think that'll be good for a lot of deck points. We just have to do this twice, and they're probably dead. And these are exiled in case they have like some way to put cards back in their deck. 17, not bad. That's better than Fractured Sanity. Ocelot Pride. They've got the Pride Guide combo, but I don't think it'll be fast enough if we just keep jamming these. They have a Wasteland that can actually slow us down a lot. They get their thing. Okay, this might be the end here. Okay, that's good because that allows us to Tasha's them, but I don't want to show it. I don't think they're going to have anything that messes with us. Let's just do that. We also get to look at their entire deck, which is nice. Okay, they're at 13, so they're dead next turn. I will play this yeah, I think I'll play it out. I mean, I could draw like a crab, but if either of these spells resolve, I think the game's over. That's a lot of damage that they're throwing our way, but again, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I feel very vindicated in my decision to daze because we might have, I don't think we would have lost, but they would have done a ton of damage there. They get a bunch of life, which doesn't matter against our deck because we are not fighting on that axis. Okay, they get a lot of energy, but again, like I just can't imagine a situation. Well, this is deterministic if I just do this, whereas Tasha's is not deterministic. So we will cast this. And we just haymakered them. Felt good. Okay, so against a weenie deck, we're going to have the same problem we had previously where it's hard to keep our hand empty, but Ensnaring Bridge should be good. Daze comes out. It's just too much of a liability getting stuck in my hand. Force is a liability too, but like Force is a little more useful. I don't think Back to Basics is going to do anything here. Disruptor Flute is something we can cast out. Maybe we want 1 daze. Not on the play. I'd rather not have it. All right. So let's take a look at this. I mean, we have Brainstorm. We have Force. We have Ensnaring Bridge, which is our key sideboard card, and we are likely to get Hellbent. I think I'm just going to open Hedron Crab. I'll probably force like the first real threat they put on the... Like, I don't really care as much about Ocelot Pride, but Guided Souls is really dangerous. They mull to 5. So again, like, expect for Punishing Waterfalls to mull hard because he plays like high risk, high reward decks. He's like a Tony Scapone like figure, like just brewing insane decks, and then decks that like your typical person would be like, why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? But you're like Legacy expert is like, wow. And he likes to take decks from Modern and port them to Legacy essentially. Like that's like his super secret tech. Okay, Leyline of Vitality, cool card. Allows for turn 1 like Ocelot Pride triggers. Okay, we got a crab. Let's get our crab on the table. Next turn we can brainstorm for a land. Urza Saga. That's going to get locked under... Okay, Leonardo, the Cutting Edge. This is what I'm talking about. He plays innovative cards. So this is lifelink. Whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on when you gain life. Okay, so he gains life immediately, so this becomes a 2. That's good. All right. So we're seeing the kind of combo. And I could have like killed this, but I don't think this is going to do us in. It's just like a 2/2 with lifelink. Like we don't care about lifelink. Okay, so we're going to definitely need to find a land here, or I think we'll probably lose. Never didn't have it. All right, so cards that go back. I think we've got a lot more Hideous Laughter than we need. Fractured Sanity, actually, I think is a little risky because we might draw one of the other cards. Double Force is probably fine. Like, in fact, I might just force the next few things and just hide instead of casting Hideous Laughter. But I think Hideous Laughter is going to be good, but they do have these ley lines in there. I could just put back the Brainstorm. Brainstorm is actually really good if I get like mana screwed somehow. Yeah, I think I'm going to... I'll put back a Laughter, and then I will go ahead and just deploy this crab. Okay, we got Shadow Spear. That's nice because that was... Actually, it doesn't really matter. It's not like a good target. I get this. They mill 3. Now we play out the crab. We are emptying our hands. We can double force and then just Ensnaring Bridge, and I don't think they'll be able to win. They could have something like witch enchanter in their deck, maybe. I'm gonna almost certainly be playing this list that they're playing on the channel. I've already talked with Punishing Waterfalls about it. I love this list. It's basically no reserve list. It may be completely no reserve list, but like if I take a deck like that does have reserve list cards, I adapt it and basically swap them out for their best non-reserve list equivalents. I think the force is probably going to be pitching Tasha's if we need to force something. This is not a big deal. So, I mean, Leonardo is getting big, but I'm not too worried about it because, oh, they got the Ocelot Pride. Yeah, that does trigger immediately. They plow there. I'm kind of thinking about forcing this because this represents a lot of triggers over the course of the next few turns. And this Tasha is like, it could be a while before I can cast it. Okay, I'll take the 3. Okay, that warps out. Okay, so the best draw is just a land. That's pretty good. So we trigger twice. We need Snaring Bridge, and then we can just hold up force, keeping Leo at bay. They've still got a lot of deck points, so we've got our work ahead of us. I can always brainstorm next turn. Like, they're going to basically have to kill me immediately because then I can like brainstorm and probably figure out a plan for keeping our hand empty. They do have their creature is going to trigger and we have to keep our hand empty for the rest of the game basically because they'll have like an army of 1/1s pretty soon. Okay, Haywire Might. Love it. Yeah, that does it. I didn't know they had that in the deck. That's good. So I think I'll probably lose now. And Agatha's Soul Cauldron, so they can get Haywire Might back. I think it dies, right? Or is it sacrifice exile? Yeah, they can keep using it. So if we draw other ones, we're not going to be able to get there, unfortunately. So I think they are going to win. And that was not something I could have forced, by the way. So I'll take a lot of damage here. But I don't think we're winning where we chump right now. Yeah, that was a clutch inclusion in the deck. And maybe I should have waited to like reveal that for another turn cycle. Let's think about this. So we know they have an Ocelot Pride in hand. I think I'm going to brainstorm first just to see what I find. Because if I find a fetch, that's pretty good. I do find a fetch and I find an Archive Trap. I think I put away the force at this point. Do I want to get rid of the Ocelot Pride from hand? It does slow them down quite a bit. I think there's a high likelihood they search their deck. But they may not. Like, they're not playing fetches, are they? Yeah, I actually think Archive Trap is a trap in this case. I'm not trying to be clever saying that. So what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Trigger. Actually, you know what? I need to do it now because I might be able to get an extra deck. Oh, I made him mill one of them. I made him will one. Maybe there's something else I want to do instead now. Yeah, let's just see what we reveal here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So trigger. I mean, it could be that like I just want a better card so I could brainstorm here. What could I find? I don't know, actually. I'm going to see. Another Ensnaring Bridge. Well, they can use the ability, but I should probably keep it. I'm going to put these 2 cards back. I don't think these are where we want to be. Then I'll ponder, and then I'll try to bridge again. I think this is an any order shuffle. Hedron Crab. That's good. That's a chump. We may need to chump. This is a 7 drop now, or 7 power, and they can make it 8. So they get like, but they'll have to sacrifice it to kill the bridge. So they are, which one are they using here? Which one do they exile? They exiled the Haywire, right? Okay. So now this has the ability that it can exile stuff. Okay, Walking Ballista is very good here. It comes in with a counter on it automatically. All right. No, it's not a counter. It's just a little extra toughness, but it does buff this. Another one. Okay. They can just 0 drop it. Like, that's so cool. So like, what does this do for them? It just grows Leo, but like they have a lot of mana later. They can do stuff with it. All right. So Leo is going to have to sacrifice himself to be able to take out this Ensnaring Bridge. Assuming they use that ability. Let's see. Can they keep putting, they can just keep putting these things on all their Walking Ballistas and sacrificing those. So I'm in a pretty rough spot here. All right, Hedron Crab number 1. Your turn. Go fight the giant ninja. All right, we're taking a wild draw here. Ponder. We need Fractured Sanity 20 and Archive Trap I don't want. I think I'm just going to chump and I'm going to try to get lucky with this Ponder and find another thing. Yeah, I think that's the line. And we'll just chump for a couple turns. Yeah, because we could find another Fractured Sanity and maybe survive. And if I play out this Ensnaring Bridge, they're probably going to put it on one of the Walking Ballistas so they can sack. What does that do? What is that card? Oh, Helia the Sun Crown. Does that have an activated ability? Another target? Okay, yeah, that's not a relevant activated ability. Okay, so they buff that. And they can buff it again. This does have a counter that they can remove to do damage. So they can clear these. They may be able to clear both of them because they could activate, then they could double ping, and then they could pay. You have to pay 4 to put a counter on it? Yeah. So they're not going to be able to do that. Okay. What is that? Well, why is that triggering? Oh, is it coming in? What's happening? They're exiling their own thing to gain some life? No, wait. What are they doing? Okay. I don't understand what's happening. Is this an infinite combo? Oh, it's an infinite combo. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, good game. Yeah, I didn't even realize that an infinite combo in their deck. That's cool. All right. It's not an infinite combo, but they had lots of... No. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll figure it out after the match. Okay, so any changes here? Consign could shut off the search. Consign also shuts off... I just don't think... Maybe a Disruptor Flute? Because if you think about it, like that can... stop several things. They're so low on lands. I almost feel like bringing the daisies back in and just taking the ensnaring bridges out. I feel like that's a mistake because like ensnaring bridge would have totally worked, but actually it wouldn't have because they could have just pinged us anyway. So maybe we just don't rely on ensnaring bridge. Maybe we just rely on like going after their lands really quickly and aggressively. Maybe we bring that in and we bring in 2 of these. I don't know. It feels weird to not play ensnaring bridge, but the problem with these pride decks is that they have if you have even one card, as we saw in the previous round, then, ensnaring bridge is going to do you dirty. One option that I considered playing was propaganda, but I just don't think it's strong enough, but it would have been better here. But again, it didn't really matter. They had the combo. Disruptor Flute shuts off the activated ability completely. I think we do want it. Yeah, I'll just split between... And then I think I'm just going to have to do what I did in round 1 and just like Windmill Slam, Exiles, or Mill Spells. Let's do it. This is a double Rune Crab hand with a Force, and yeah, we're definitely keeping this. So I can Rune Crab, then I can Rune Crab again, then I can fetch. This is a great hand. They mulled a 6, and they didn't have their powerful enchantment. Do I want to force this? I think I just let it go. Because Tasha is so strong against their deck. All right. We go ahead and Rune Crab. And unfortunately, we did draw a land that's not very good here. But I don't think I show it off yet. I think I do this. I think I do want to just go ahead and fetch now. Just to lock it in so they can't like do something to remove it. And I get my deck points where I can. I mean, obviously, I could draw another crab, but that's already 2 of my crabs. I just really don't want to have to force something here. I'm not going to force that. Shadow Spirit, fine. I don't care. Okay, so this, I think, is just double Rune Crab, and we'll just hold these fields for later. And we're, like, really glass cannoning it this game. Like, we don't really have any recourse if we can't get them dead with this Laughter. 9 cards, that's it? Okay. Well, not looking good, folks. I mean, we might be able to hardcast a Force, because we can't target basic lands with this, right? Yeah, it has to be a basic. And actually, they don't have that many basics in their deck. I think I should have cut some of these, frankly. I think I don't need to be playing this many of them. Archive Trap might have made sense to cut. This is a 0-3. This is first strike. I think it's safe to just block this and save the life. I'll look like an idiot if I like misread this somehow, but it's like a 2-2. First strike doesn't matter. They gain the life. They still get the cat. Okay, Wasteland is their land for turn. I guess maybe I could have like presumed that maybe they had something else to do, but I can actually field a rune and just clear that Wasteland. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and crab him. And I'm going to crab him again. I'm just going to fetch in, and I'm going to hope that I find something good off the top. I do have Hardcast Force next turn. If they're playing Solitude or something, they could Solitude here. They don't. We got our trigger. They still have 29 deck points because Tasha's was very awkward there. What did we end up exiling? Did we exile a bunch of ley lines? Yeah. Maybe Tasha's not good against their deck either. I think this is a really bad matchup for us, frankly. Okay. Yeah, we'll just chill. I mean, we can at least block this guy. I don't think I block because I'm worried that like they have a way to finish him off, but how would they finish him off with 1 damage? Obviously, like if they had the thing, I do want to save life. I want to save life. I'm going to try to block. Because if they have... Yeah, I'm going to just block. Okay, and they're just going to end. So I was correct to block there. I saved up myself 2 life. It was risky, but it paid off. Plow. That's unfortunate. It's good timing. Yep, that's unfortunate, frankly. I'll just chill. I don't think there's any merit in going after the Wastelands. I'll just hold the force. We are going to need to draw some exceptional cards from here to win against the Cat Army. Let's see. Does it make sense to go ahead and waste them? We'll see if they go to like end second main. If they pass priority, then I'm going to go ahead and do this just to minimize. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. We hit that. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they are going to get... But if... they should just let this happen. Okay, they're passing, so I'm going to attempt to do it. And then they could waste if they want to. But they shouldn't waste here. They should just go get the land. Okay, they are opting to waste instead. That's fine. So that does keep them from the city's blessing. And it fizzles my ability. But I don't care. I just wanted to reduce their lands so they didn't get city's blessing. Hedron Crab. Let's play it. Go ahead and play this. Trigger. We'll target them. Again, we're going to need a miracle here. But like, I think it's better to go ahead and do this now than it is to wait. Because they could remove this and deprive me of... Like, basically, the next draw has to be Tasha's or... and I think it has to be Tasha's, actually. Yeah, they have the City's Blessing now. Got 2 cards in hand. I am going to block here. No, wait, I can't block that. I can only block one of the smaller dinguses. Okay, so we're taking 4 here. We're at 9. They get 2 extra dudes. It's coming down to the wire here. Disruptor Flute. I could force this. What are they going to name? I think I just have to luck out here. So Fractured Sanity or Tasha's are both good names, but like I think, let's see, they have 7 power and I have 1 blocker. So I do have potentially 2 rips. Fractured Sanity, okay. Okay. I can still cycle it, which is notable. Okay, so Fractured Sanity, let's go ahead and cycle this. Right? Cancel. Wait, why isn't it letting me? Oh, it's an activated ability. So it just costs 2 extra, right? Or 3 extra? How do I undo this? Okay. So what I'm going to do, trigger. They have 17. Let's go ahead and do this. And Fracture Sanity them. Then we block. Wait a second. I have a land in my deck. I have a land in my deck, so I could just do this. Then I just need to be sure that they can't kill me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I block 1. They could waste their Ancient Tomb. I think I am correct to just do this. Okay, so let's say hypothetically... Yeah, I think I just play it now while I can, because they could waste me in the end step anyway. Down to 3 deck points, and this is coming down to the wire as they tend to. So they can just wasteland this. Or they can wasteland whatever I'm targeting, and then I don't get the landfall trigger. And if they have a plow, if they have really anything here, they've bricked several turns in a row. Okay, they're wasting that. That's fine. I figured that was going to come sooner or later. What's their card? Leonardo comes in. They gain life, but he doesn't have haste, so I'm still not dead. Right? Just block. I will block one of these, and I will survive by 1. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. This is it. This is it. Do we draw the card? If we draw a Fractured Sanity, we can't cast it, unfortunately. We can't force anything. They get a bunch of cats. It has to be Tasha's or a land. And actually, yeah, any land does it. GG's. Well played. Yeah, we had 2 games that came down to like 1 draw step, basically. Well, technically they had 2 draw steps left. Those were close. So to recap, I think the deck felt fine. Days, I'm not in love with it. It just feels like it sets you back a turn and it gets stuck in your hand. There's no like other tempo element to the deck. It's just like a free counter spell. I think anybody who thinks this is a tempo deck is deluding themselves. This is not a tempo deck. You actually are fine with the game going longer because you're every turn getting a little bit closer to your end state. Cards that would be good here, in my humble opinion, Dismember probably could work here. You could put it in a surveillance, which makes it easier to cast surgical extraction. Surgical extraction was terrible, by the way. I think there might have been a couple times when it was like slightly good against Storm, but overall, I think it's just like paying 2 life and a card to get 3 cards out of the deck, and it's pretty situational. I wish they printed like a third crab. Like the crab is like the main way we were winning those games, just by chipping. There was the one game we won against Punishing Waterfalls where we just freaking windmill slam these. I suspect these are both 4-ofs. That would be my instinct, just having played one league with Mill. Like these seemed like the best cards you could be drawing, and I was like praying for them a lot of times. Let me show you another angle you could go with this deck. All right, here we go. I put this together. So this is Ninja Mill. It's got Donatello's Technique, and it's got this awesome Mill card, Kitsune's Technique. It's a sneak card. So for 1 colorless, 1 blue, target opponent mills half their library. So this is potentially like 25 cards or so, which is really freaking strong. This combined with Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which I think is the best mill card. I think it's way better than the Fractured Sanity. And the reason I think this is so good is because they are exiled. So you're not running as much risk. Like you can lead with these and then kind of finish. But you're going to almost always want to like lead with Kitsune's Technique because you get the most cards then. And what we would do is we take out the stinky surgicals. We bring in Leyline, which is just better against graveyard strategies anyway. Is that right though? Correct. I think maybe we do want to play surgicals, but we just don't want to play them in the main. We probably want to play them in the board. Yeah. So like, let's just go back to that. So while it's like taking forever to pull up surgical extraction, I'll explain Kitsune's Technique. So 6 mana is just not viable. Generally, we actually did get to 6 mana a few times. I think in that final round, we cast a Fractured Sanity through the Disruptor Flute with 6 mana, but it's not going to happen a lot. You really do need to sneak this. Now, obviously, Rune Crabs, like if you just joke attack, like they maybe not like block. But you know, I think I'll just start attacking whenever they don't have anything out to prime them to think, oh, they're just playing, you know, attacking their silly harmless crabs. Then boom, mill half your deck. Like that's pretty powerful, right? Slither Blade, you've already seen it on the channel if you've watched any of my ninja videos. I think this card is awesome. And it is a 1 mana unblockable creature that survives Bowmaster. So that's very powerful. And then if we're already like leaning into this kind of Slither Blade, let's play Donatello's Technique, which is, you know, not terrible. So we have like a way to kind of refill our hand a little bit. Archive Trap. So I've still got the Field of Ruin, but we don't have any triple blue. So we're not like less likely to be punished for drawing these in multiple. And I do think Field of Ruin needs to be in there just because Field of Ruin can proc your Archive Trap. So I think I'll try this. Leave a comment if you like this. Oh, here are my surgicals. So we'll just add 4 of these to the sideboard. I do think these are better than Leylines just because we're not going to want to aggressively mill. Or aggressively mull, rather. We are going to want to aggressively mill. So, but this does have like the upside of like not only, okay, they oops all spells, they go off and at least you can hit their Narcomoebas and maybe stop them from winning. It's not as much of a lock as Leyline, but it's just like these could definitely come in against Storm. Like that was pretty clutch, actually. I'm not sure that we would have won the Storm matchup if we hadn't had access to Surgical. So, other observations, like I think Propaganda could be a card that you play because it's blue. It pitches to force. In fact, I'm going to make another change. I don't think we play back to basics. I think just it's not relevant really to what we're doing. And I think I'd rather just play 4 consigns, yeah, like that with 3 propagandas. Consign's so good against the big mana decks. Like we lost to it, but we could have easily won that had things gone differently. Of course they didn't. But Consign is the best thing you could be doing against the big mana deck. So now we have like basically 8 anti-combo cards, and we can basically switch into a defensive deck. Maybe take out, but Kitsune Technique, hitting half their deck and hitting it a lot earlier, and bouncing like a Rune Crab to your hand, which doesn't matter if you time your fetches and stuff around it. I think this will be better. That's my theory. Now you're gonna have to tune in to see whether that actually works out. Also, I'm going to encourage you to reply with your favorite Ninja Turtle in the spirit of ninjas. Until leave a comment with a Ninja Turtle name and why. Don't just say Michelangelo because he's a party dude. Tell me genuine. Oh, you can say that if you want, but what genuine, like what attracts you to, for example, Donatello? Like it's almost like the ultimate personality test. Which turtle are you? And if you're like a brooding, angstful emo kid like Raph, or if you're like a brainy, I wish Big Bang Theory had come out before I was, or, you know, like after I was already 20 so I could be a reference in it. You know, if you're that kind of character, maybe you're like a Donatello. By the way, I can't stand that show. All right. So we'll end it there. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.